Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We've watched EZA INT ZAMASU demolish every other enemy in the game, which is kind of ridiculous for a side banner unit, or side EZA shall I say. Now it's time for Shadow Dragon SYN. Now we do have a very good start in rotation, and I do want this to be the rotation, just annoyingly turn 1, which is not bad, because as soon as EZA ZAMASU comes back, we'll get him transformed. But turn 1, obviously, they don't link together. Which, to be fair, I don't think it's too much of a problem. What do we miss out on? So he's on 429 in terms of attack. He's on 243 in terms of defense. Without any links, he just loses attack. So, I mean, with his 40% damage reduction and the extra 20% for a full Realm of Gods category turn, just having 60% damage reduction, he should be actually fine. So we're just going to firm the one turn where he has no links. And then the other two should be good. So this is off no super. He doesn't get no 30% attack and defense. This is just damage reduction. Double digits on basics, which is good, considering we know by now on global, as soon as you come out the gate, SYN is doing a ton of damage, which is what made him so difficult in the first place, and that's also what makes the new Dismal Future Edition of Red Zone quite difficult as well. Double from EZA ZAMASU, I'll definitely take that. No super on either of them, and we've got Tech LR ZAMASU, who's got his damage reduction and everything, where he's pretty much indestructible turn 1. So if SYN wants to super attack him, it's going to be a waste, and he doesn't. That's actually probably the first time I've got through the first time without being supered. So now this time we do have 2 units on the team that aren't on Realm of Gods. Now, if I was to float both of them, that does mean every other turn INT ZAMASU isn't getting the full 60% and we miss out on that 20% extra damage reduction. For the time being though, just to utilize Frieza's... Yeah, for the time being, to utilize Frieza's damage reduction before it just tots down to next to nothing, I'm going to leave on rotation. So as of right now, there's only one unit that is on cycle in that 3rd slot that is going to break off that 20% extra damage reduction ZAMASU gets for a full turn of Realm of God category units. Which, as I said before, I think even if he doesn't have it, I mean, having it more often than not is completely fine. And even him not having the full 60, yes, is it better? Yes, is it good? 100%, without a doubt. But having like a turn here and there, or like every other turn, he has 40 instead of the full 60, to me is fine because he tanks so well as it is. So I don't think it's going to make that much of an impact to him. I think if we were to leave him in slot 1, especially like, I don't know, maybe on like Rose or Rose and ZAMASU, who does like 1.6 milli, or, I mean, actually we saw it with Cooler Core. He took almost 500k on a super. But he survived, which is the important part. So actually, even if he didn't have it, which I don't think he had it on that rotation, he's still fine. As long as he supers and gets a little bit extra defense, he's still taking a ton of damage, but obviously he's going to tank it better. But we've already seen him without the full 60, and not even super as well to get extra attack and defense. And he still survives some of the hardest hitting enemies in the game. Piccolo Jr. is popping off as well. Love to see it. So I'm not really concerned that here and there he may not actually have the full 60%. Right, we've got the EZA ZAMASU transformation. Again, like, I'm just going to follow the same procedure. INT ZAMASU is going to go in slot 1 because I want to see how much he tanks. I actually just want to see how much he tanks. Annoyingly though, Rose and ZAMASU's only just appeared and I don't want you on this rotation. But to be fair, they do have type advantage and their guard right now, but they do need to start being hit. But at least they do have type advantage and guard, so they're kind of safe. So that group attack. Okay, we're going to see what he's tanking. No super, but full 60% damage reduction. 228k. This is a side EZA. And this is one of the hardest events in the entire game, and one of the hardest stages, at least on global. And he hadn't even super yet. And he tanks for 228k. That's what some of the big boy Dokkan fests are tanking for. Bearing in mind they are building up, but still, that's what some of them are tanking for. That's what some of the newer EZAs are tanking for. And INT ZAMASU is doing that, who's a side EZA. You just don't get that often. You don't get side EZAs perform this well in difficult content. Honestly, I generally, he's up there. He has to be one of my favorites. He's up there. Yeah, we'll just leave it like this for the time being. I mean, we might as well. Got these AGL key spheres, recoup a little bit of HP. Pick up these tech key spheres, recoup a little bit more HP. Then we've got the healing we're going to get next turn from both Zamasus. This is another thing as well that I did say, like, with another unit added to this team who can heal, along with like the other 2 or 3 units that heal, I was thinking maybe that might become an issue when it comes to popping Tech Zamasu's domain. It's actually not. It's actually not. It keeps you at like a decent constant amount of HP where you're never really in trouble. You never really have to worry, including with the units you're running. Like, you always feel quite safe and secure. But every time I've run INT ZAMASU, I've never not managed to get Tech Zamasu's domain out. So even with all this healing, which is great, as I said, it's never like clashed with getting the domain either, which of course I think you need to be at like 70% HP for. It seems to be, or unless I got incredibly lucky with it, it seems to manage to maintain you where you need your HP, like right about where you need it, which is even better. All right, final phase. He also has type disadvantage here as well. So just like Cooler Core, not his best scenario. The only good thing is SYN does a little less damage than Cooler Core does on Super. Cooler Core is doing 1.6, SYN's doing like just over 1.3. So there's that. But obviously there's all the group attacks. So even if we were to put him in slot 2 and decide to get the attack and defense for the turn, we're still getting hit by a group attack in slot 1. So again, 229k defense, pre-super. I'm actually going to leave him in slot 1. There's no point really moving him. Even if we die because of Piccolo Jr., I'm actually not concerned as long as I can just see what Zamasu's tanking for. So on the group attack, no super, 136k. See, that's a bit more like... And he's been super as well. He actually generally might die, but to be fair, we don't have a lot of health. But as long as he tanks it well... Alright, this is the only time he's taken like side banner-esque damage. That is the only time. But if I popped an item... If that was like a serious run and I popped an item, he would have survived. He would have survived. Because then also... AGL Zamasu's got, even though he doesn't need it, but he's got the Whis active on him. Piccolo's got the Whis active on him, which also was another concern because of the type disadvantage, and Piccolo and Super Jet. But I would have taken nowhere near the amount of damage I've taken just then, which means we would have had the Whis ready with 40% damage reduction, the Whis with the extra 40, that's 80% damage reduction in total. Again, we would have had way more HP to be prepared for the Super, and Zamasu would have survived. And that's, again, still pre-super. So bear in mind, we didn't have the full 60. We didn't have the full 60, and we didn't super attack before he got supered. If I had used the Whis, Zamasu generally would have survived. Because, again, we would have taken less damage there. And Zamasu would have had... Yes, he wouldn't have had a 60, but we'd had 40 from the Whis. That super attack would have done nowhere near the amount of damage it done. Now, again, if we had the full 60 with the Whis, again, probably would have done double digits. But still, for a side EZA to do so well in difficult content, it's just you don't see it that often. And as I said, if I had done it seriously and used an item, we actually would have survived. We actually would have survived. But because I wanted to see how much he was taking, we got clocked. Mainly because of Piccolo and then him. But... I can't lie, he's sick. He's actually sick. And I wish the Goku Black was as good as him. But he is literally DOA, that Goku Black. He is DOA. And do you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to hop back in. I'm actually going to hop back in. I actually want to see how he tanks with like full damage reduction and potentially even super attacks as well against the final phase of SYN. Alright guys, we're back. Literally same scenario as last time. We have a non-realm God's Category unit on the rotation, which means the Master's only got his 40% damage reduction. I do have a Whis active that I activated last time just because we were quite low on HP. So literally everything that I would do in a normal run and I would have done realistically last time that I didn't, I've done now. Whis active, we're on 40% damage reduction, exact same scenario. ton of group attacks in slot 1 again. So 211k defense with 40% damage reduction and a Whis. I'm going to leave him in slot 1 again. As I said, I'm setting up the exact same conditions. You ever taught in science? Form a fair test. He's actually being super attacked straight away. Alright, so we've got a Whis active. He's being supered again. Same conditions as last time. 215k. And then back to double digits on the basics. What's the group attack going to do? Double digits. So, I was a little bit wrong in terms of how much damage he'll take on a super. But again, bearing in mind, that is not his full damage reduction. He hadn't supered yet, so that's no extra defense. And don't forget, he's got the 70% chance of the additional in his passive as well, along with me having him rainbowed. So he still had potential with 2 more super attacks, and also the base one. So that's no extra defense on super. He doesn't have his full damage reduction, just an item active with type disadvantage. And he went all the way from 800 and something K on that super in the exact same conditions as before to all the way down to 200k. Are you seeing what I'm saying about how ridiculous this guy is? 800k down to 200k with just an item active. Now again, bearing in mind it'd be completely different if we actually got some supers off with him, some extra defense, those kind of things, and also had a full Realm of Gods category turn, which I'm hoping we can get in not the next turn, the turn afterwards. That's if we make it there. To be fair, I do still actually have a Whis, but I don't want to have another Whis active going into his turn because I want to do it with no item, but we'll see what happens. But as I said, he went from over 800k down to just over 200k. Big difference. I mean, to be fair, with the team we got here, we should make it. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this because there's a ton of attacks in slot 3 and at least Infinite Zamasu can just soak all of them up. We've also recouped a ton of HP from all of those tech key spheres from Infinite Zamasu's domain. I don't think we'll do enough damage to beat SYN right now, so we should be able to see it. Unless the friend Zamasu just wants to pop off and just go wild. Alright, this should be fine. He's rainbowed and he's triple supered. This is fine. Yeah, we're good. I think these two are okay. I mean, they definitely don't have their guard anymore. Yeah, okay, they're good. They're definitely good. And then Infinite Zamasu's chilling. So yeah, next turn we're going to have the full Realm of Gods turn, which means Zamasu's going to have his full 60% damage reduction. I do want him to super first to see how he's tanking, so at least he has a bit of extra defense. The only thing is, with where SYN's health bar is sitting, I don't know if someone like AJ Zamasu will do too much damage, especially with the possibility of additionals before we can actually get to him. Oh, we also have Rose's support. So, I mean, our defense hasn't gone up that much from the support, but we do have the full damage reduction. Alright, we've got one group attack in slot 1, so I'm actually going to leave him in slot 1. Alright, so this time, full damage reduction, no item. Again, no super before the group attack. How much is the group attack doing? Double digits. You see how much it's dropped? And now he's going to super. Can he get supered again? He's actually doubled. He might even triple. Super him, I beg. I beg you super him. I want to see. This is going to do double digits again. I beg you super him. I actually really want to see how much damage he takes now with no item. No. Okay. Cool. That's fine. But you see in the difference. The super attack does make a difference. But the fact of how well he tanked without it. Again, this is a side EZA. This is a side EZA. And he's impressed me this much. And I'm actually glad he's this good because, again, with how we know how much of a fumble the EZA Goku Black's going to be, this guy actually kind of has like somewhat of a permanent place currently on Tech LR Zamasu's team. So at least he can thrive, at least this guy can keep shining because that guy ain't getting run nowhere. But yeah, he's done exceptionally well. But you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care, have a good rest of your day, and Peace.